Back after the break, we've got Bud Smith. He's the author of a collection of short stories or something like that. Recently, his writing has appeared in the Bicycle Review, Full of Crow, and in Citizens for Decent Literature, which I think is ironic. Everybody, Bud Smith.
So, I'm really happy to have this guy here. I love this instrument. I build shit like this all the time in my apartment. It doesn't work. You gotta teach me how to use a soldering iron.
Do you just like turn it on?
Yeah?
Start soldering.
Yeah, I weld at work, but I can't solder for
I
shit.
just started welding.
Come work for me.
TIG welding. It's awesome.
It is. What do you think, weld?
Oh, right now I'm just like welding shit to other shit just to get good at it.
You gotta hang out. You got a rig in your place?
Yeah, I got an Everlast.
Let's talk.
Awesome, man.
Hey, will you play some stuff while I read?
I'm totally honored to, yes.
All right. So I'm gonna read a shitload of poems here.
Fuck yeah.
Hopefully they're poems, but they're like they're kind of like little tiny stories too. So most of them are about where I grew up and where I am now, and hopefully you can follow along without too many explanations. So I'm not going to set them up. I'm just going to read them. Okay. This one here is called "Where You Were Dead." I remember rocks hitting teeth, punching a kid in the mouth. The way he bled on his white shirt that said, "Dino the Last Dinosaur." There were trips to the beach. We dug down so far the ocean showed. My brother and me in the pit we made, under a violent sky drawn sloppy, with blueberry markers. I dare you to live forever, I'll do the same. Punch buggy yellow, punch buggy green. Then, we walked through the tunnels, armed with tree branch weapons, in case of werewolves, man. And I held your hand while you made up your mind. Through the burnout shells of long-ago parties, melted plastic and pentagram ruins. Nothing is depressing as a maze of pines. Nothing feels as good as the first time. I don't remember anything specific, just the smell of fire and the dreams that woke me up sweating where you were dead. Here's a poem called "I'm from Electric Peak, Montana," which is not where I'm from. This poem is called "I'm from Electric Peak, Montana." Sometimes you'll forget who you are, and you'll go buy Black Rights candles, carving pentagrams on the linoleum floor, with a pulsing knife you found out in the streets. And as you put on Costa Rican coffee and fill the sink with soap suds and hot water, the virgins you need for your sacrifices will seem so far away. You'll start telling people you're from Montana instead of Strip Mall, New Jersey. Ekalaka, Brygate, Swimming Women Road. I'm from Electric Peak. Gunsight Mountain, you'll say. Ever heard of it? Tell them you cut your teeth on a ranch breaking wild horses. Love me now? At the local college, sign up for a course, Building Hot Air Balloons 101. Tell pretty girls at the bar, "Baby, I'd like to put your face on a hot air balloon and release you up into the sky." That sounds nice, hopefully they'll say. Or, go jump in pickup basketball games on the asphalt court with the rusted net, behind the plaza with Fried Paradise, where you used to bread the chicken after school for minimum wage, and you knew exactly who you were. And this poem is called "I Love Us." I'll set this up a little bit. It's about loving a girl and going on a killing spree with her. I love us. I've never shot a gun before, but I want to. Can't you hate your family? Can't you live near a wooden tower with a spelling error? Please stand out the lawn with a lemon lime hula hoop, violet ribbons in your hair, and a Sunday dress on. I want to drive up in a rusted out car I found by the reservoir with a white t-shirt and my blue jeans on. I'd like to tell your father and your mother that you're coming with me. I'd like them to say no. It'd be nice, the air sucked out of the room, when I said yes. Black velvet Elvis on the wall on a cross, your Italian mineral oil rain lamps leaking by the birdcage. I'd like to shoot them all, leaving their bodies at the kitchen table, plates of gravy and handmade spaghetti. Then, me and you could roll slow through wheat fields and strange farms. Look at that cow. That's a horse, same difference. West, then south, Kansas, then Texas. I teach you how to drive manual. You paint your toenails day glow, bobbing out the passenger side window. We buy new fuzzy rest stop dice, those trees that smell like Christmas dangling off your glove box. You'd say you love me. We'd sleep out beneath the out-of-range flashbulb stars, far away from the AM/FM radio towers. Far away from the influence of the Eat at Peggy Sue's diner billboards. I'd kill a gas station attendant in Playa del Mar. You'd read staid romance novels in motel rooms while I oiled the gun and laughed on the phone to no one. Your brother would catch us in California, Laguna Beach, riding his motorcycle all night, thinking his life was a movie. I like that. I gunned him down from the roof of the Bond supermarket. You'd clap, watching him fall over in the only empty parking spot. Oh, it feels so real. We'd eat the barely blemished fruit that you hid up your skirt. Vote Pacific Coast, all the ghosts stuffed in the trunk. All you have to do is keep abandoning cars. You can't hit a moving target, sweetie. You just smirk and toss me grapes. I'd catch them in midair like a strange circus seal. Most of all, I want romance. I want to guide you through the silver streets. I want to make a house in a sequoia, 1,000 feet off the muddy ground. I want to set bear traps and make tiger pits with sharpened wooden spikes hidden beneath the leaves. Feverish, worried dreams, all you can do is extend fires on riots, on anyone who comes between. Ah, in the middle of the wilderness. Pretend it's funny when I pick up a pine cone. Pretend it's funny when I pick up a pine cone to order a pepperoni pizza with mushrooms and onions. Kiss me so deep I almost die. Let's start a new life in Alaska. Leaving the fog, dime store sunglasses, and a root beer soda in Portland, Oregon. Be recognized for your sins eating a soft cone outside the tasting trees. Be forever cool and polite when the dipshit cops arrive. But be short and starstruck, multiplying like bunnies to drag me off. Offer them cinnamon gum. And you, don't scream. Don't send me beautiful handwritten letters. Don't kiss the envelope with fire engine red lipstick. Don't come to my execution. Just remember what we had in the Grand Canyon that I'm not going to disclose here because people talk. And I'd like our love to be private, despite the myths around it that everybody thinks is their own. This one's called Curfew. You can't get pregnant the first time. We said it again but didn't believe it. Her curfew was over. I had my learner's permit. It was 10:05 p.m. and she was 3 weeks late. Drive me home, we'll tell her together. 12 newspapers were frozen to my father's driveway. I had a 1988 Silver Mercury, Thundercat symbol, bad heater coil. She shivered in her Powerpuff Girl coat. I just drove. No radio, I just drove. As I turned to look at her acne face, manic panic hair and steel braces, I didn't see something dying up in the road. Oh, she yelled, pointing. A wounded deer lifting its head. Too late, it was crushed beneath the car. We kept driving, or I drove, and she cried. At their house, she bolted. No talk, I guess. Back at my place, back on the ice and frozen newspapers, I started scraping the guts from the undercarriage with a shovel. Hair, red, more red, steam, stench, antlers. I imagine this is what the doctors would do to her in Cherry Hill. But at 2 a.m., my phone rang, and she said, I just got it. And I started to weep. So yeah, this is a poem about living up in Washington Heights. I live on 175th Street in Fort Washington. If you want to come hang out after the show, probably not a good idea. I have work in the morning. In my building, there's a white woman who comes up and knocks on my door every time I slam the refrigerator too hard. She says she's troubled by the noise, not just my noise, all the noise. I ask her, have you heard the little boy who plays the drums? She looks at me horrified and says, no. I just shrug, and then she swivels on the balls of her feet and she goes away until the next time I slam the refrigerator door. In my building, there's a little boy who plays the drums. He didn't used to be so good, but he's getting better. It's hard to get good at a full drum kit in the city. Someone's always trying to stop you. But nobody wants to tell this little kid to stop. His father, the manager, is a 300-pound bulldozer just released from prison. And the kid's backing band consists of 3 pit bulls. One on lead guitar, one on rhythm, and one on bass. None of the dogs sing. Their vocal cords have all been removed. And they're just patiently waiting for the police to show up and raid the place. In my building, there's a cat that walks across a piano. You can hear it up there sometimes, stepping across random keys. Mostly the notes make no sense, but occasionally a few will string together, and you will quietly feel your heart break while you lay there in the darkness. You wouldn't have it any other way. In my building, everyone puts in air conditioning window boxes after spring except for me. I keep the windows open and I just sweat. I look down on the street and the green leaves below me, and I listen to the Dominicans playing baseball on the basketball court, and I listen to the black girls talking trash loudly on the sidewalk because they think they're so far out of range and I can't hear what's going on. I listen to the water run down the rain spout from the open fire hydrant, and I listen to the woman down at our trash cans separating the glass bottles, piling them all into one shopping cart that seems to be as big as our lives. Maybe it is. In my building, there's a couple that fucks each other into oblivion. You can hear them through the pipes. We can't figure out who they are, where they are. They're even in the same dimension as us. We study the strange faces as we pass in the hallway, waving. We study envelopes when we get other people's mail for some clue, any kind of forensics about the people fucking each other into oblivion through the pipes. It could be any one of us. In my building, there is a person who leaves the old magazines on the radiator by the front door. They're lousy magazines, but I always look through them because I'm always ready to find something, but I always find nothing. And sometimes I can just open up the window and say, heads up, and the woman at the trash can lovingly catches my empty beer bottles and places them lovingly in her shopping cart. And it saves us both the effort. And sometimes I think about the cat walking across the ivories and pretend it's a beautiful naked woman at the piano bench, though I know it's not. Sometimes I think about dragging my Moog synth across the hallway and joining the band of pit bulls and the 300-pound ex-convict and the little kid owning those drums. And sometimes we pretend that we are the couple that we hear through the pipes, and we send the noise right back at them through the pipes. It might be that what they do is not because it's what they do, but because it's a reaction to what we do. Have you ever considered this about your life? And sometimes I take those shitty magazines to a guy I work with. He has tropical birds. I'm not sure what kind of birds they are. I've always accepted tropical is good enough for me. But he says that his birds are very excited about shitting on People magazine as opposed to, say, the New York Times. And to be honest with you, sometimes, just sometimes, I slam the refrigerator door on purpose, extra hard, breaking the eggs, just to get that white woman to come up the stairs and bother me because I'm lonely. This one is called Jetpack. Would you mind giving me some noise?
Sure. It's no move, but...
All these poems, they have a lot of you in them. That's no coincidence. I wrote these poems specifically for you. Okay? You leave by jetpack. I squint as you go over Jupiter, and slowly a little green army man falls on a parachute. And it has a message that says, simply, miss me? I nod, On Wednesday, I can't take it. I go out to the garage, and I start to duct tape everything together. Chunks of old records, VHS, my punk rock posters. A black and white tube TV set that I still have for some reason, but I can't figure out why. I put all our photos on the floor. I super glue our snapshots to sheet metal, to engine blocks, to the glowing molten iron core. Then, while all that starts to hum, I go in and I call up my boss. I say, "Hey man, I should have called you earlier." "Why?" "This is my 2-week notice." "Oh, fuck," he says. "I'm leaving." "Where? To our rivals?" he asks. "No, off in the cosmos, after a girl." It's really a 2-second notice, I think, feeling worse. I get my air tank out because I need that in space, and I pack my backpack full of 99-cent used paperback books and some blue supermarket roses. Then I climb on the humming garbage debris, and I count backwards from 23, and act surprised when everything suddenly vaporizes. Sorry, neighborhood watch. And then it's just me, and the coldness of space, and the weird light of approaching stars, as I close in on you, kicking your legs on the rings of Saturn, waving, schoolgirl style, waiting for stupid old me, like you said you would, for just a short time. So, I'm getting married in May 4th, I'm getting married. I'd like to invite all you guys. I'm not that rich. But part of getting married, the best part of getting married is you get to go on a honeymoon, I'm told. My wife wants to go to Africa. Isn't that awesome? We're going to go on African safari, and so that's what's happening in my life, planning that. Going to see different kinds of animals. And, you know, I heard it's going to be a lot of fun over there. So we're going to go to Zanzibar and Kenya. And this is a poem about that. This is about your life, all the crazy shit you'll do. This is called Be Good at All Costs. Put on this titanium helmet, this neon flight suit, climb in this cannon, get launched at supersonic speeds through a few brick walls, then out over the sea and another sea, crash land in Nepal, southern Italy, followed by an African safari, Zanzibar. That'd be nice. There, continue to have a heart like an atomic bomb, but don't hurt anyone. Keep forever calm in the wilds until they ask, "What's your favorite song?" What kind of maniac would ask a question like that? Always say, "Not the happy birthday song." And have a worry that lessens. As if you had holes in your pockets on purpose, and your worry just dropped out like useless money, falling on the swaying grass, forgotten in Zanzibar. Thank you very much.